Do you want to reach your dream IIM? GradeUp brings to you the big Republic Day sale. Flat 40% off plus extra 32% off on all MBA courses. Use code RDAY72. Grab the offer now.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to GradeUp's MBA Prep channel. In this video, I am going to tell you how to improve selection of questions. Okay, there have been a lot of queries from our users that how should we select the appropriate questions so that we maximize our score in the examination, get the highest possible marks in the examination. So there are several aspirants who prepare for these MBA exams. I'm not talking about CAT, only CAT. I'll talk about in general. There are several aspirants who prepare for these examinations, and then what happens is there are some aspirants who are really good with their knowledge. Okay, they have very strong holding in their respective subject or the combination of subjects. However, when it comes to test taking, they fail to portray their skills there. Okay, so in this session, I'm going to talk how to improve your question selection so that you get the best result out of it. Okay, so Rishi Kumar, the pattern has changed. Okay, so it could be good, it could be both, right? It could be good as well as bad. Good in the sense that you have like lesser time. Okay, and of course the number of questions will be less. So there might be a chance that some topics might be skipped. Okay, so for example, let us say permutation combination. Okay, so it is possible that those topics might not be asked. Similarly, like you will have lesser of your difficult topics. Okay, and I mean it is not it is subjective thing, right? So some might say it is good, some might say it is bad. So that it is subjective. It depends from person to person. Okay, and like on the flip side, you have that you have lesser questions. Okay, so if you miss a few questions incorrect, then you get more nervous in such examination. Okay, so once you had 100 questions, so you know, okay, even if I am unable to do 10 questions, I have the rest 90, I can target those. But in lesser questions, you have you don't have that leverage to leave too many questions. Okay, so those are some things that make the positive, negative things. Okay, so it's all in all, I would say that there is no such change. Okay, since CAT is a percentile based exam, right? So it is a percentile based exam, so it does not make a difference. Like the good guys will still score high, the ones who did not prepare or did not apply the right strategy would still score low. Okay. All right, so let us so just giving information about GradeUp Super. This is a subscription model to get access to all our paid courses. Okay, these are the courses that we have currently. CAT 2020, a comprehensive course, a retakers batch. We have also started courses for CAT 2021 and one course specially for GK and current affairs for IFT, ZAT and other MBA exams. And we will be launching a course on non-CAT exams as well. Apart from that, there are several free series on GradeUp app as well as YouTube series. So for that, you need to download the GradeUp app and you can get access to all these videos there. And we also have YouTube series, so you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel for that. Okay. All right, so let us start with some points that you should remember while attempting any competitive examination. Okay, the first thing is like especially if that is the case with CAT, each question carries equal marks. Okay, so no matter, there is no bravery award for doing a difficult question, attempting it in 4 minutes than doing an easy question in 1 minute. Okay, so a person who does let us say a person does 3 questions in 4 minutes, easy ones. Okay, he is far more wise than a person who picks a difficult question in 1 question in 4 minutes. So it is always advisable to pick the easy questions and attempt them first, because there is no extra mark for attempting difficult questions. And if someone tells you that if scores are leveled, like if you attempt difficult questions, your percentile would be high. No, this is that is just a rumor. Your ultimate thing is your score. Okay, your accuracy will also not matter. If your score is high, as long as your score is high, you will get that required percentile. So other things don't matter. First thing is, you must have idea about different sections. Okay, you must know what is going to be asked in that section. So for example, let us say CAT up to last year used to have 24 questions in RC. Okay, so you know that there are going to be 5 passages, and now most likely if it is a 40-minute paper, so there will be 3 RCs. Okay, so if you start that way, that like suppose you are good at solving RCs. Okay, you start, you do one RC, then you do some verbal questions, then another RC, and maybe you had 1 or 2 verbal questions, and you could reach up to that point. And later on you came to know that there was one more RC which you could have done, and you could have scored high in that. So you should have an idea that what is going to be asked in the examination. Okay, so for example, let us say you are doing DILR sets. It is impossible to do, I mean almost next to impossible, because hardly few people get 8 sets, right? So people generally do 4, 5 sets. So suppose there was a DI set, so you know that DI is going to come, and you were good at DI. Instead you started solving some other set, and later on you realize, oh, I should have done that set. Okay, it happens with the candidate. So you should have the idea what are the different what are the different topics that are tested under a particular section. Okay, suppose you are attempting quant section. In the first 10 questions, you know that arithmetic is going to come in good number. Okay, but in the first question you did not see any question on arithmetic, so you assume that no, let me solve these questions only. But you were good at arithmetic, so instead of that you should have some estimation, so that it gives you the chance to attempt more questions. Okay. Of course, it goes without saying that you need to pick the easy questions first, and the better is your start, the better it is, because of 2 reasons. First is obviously, you spend less time in solving, gaining more marks. Second is the psychological factor, which is the confidence. Okay, so if you start well, you have 2 advantages. First is less time, more questions. And the second thing is your confidence boost. Okay, so suppose you get, let's say in 20 minutes you solve 10 questions. Okay, so now you have the confidence that, okay, yes, I am doing at a good pace. If I do 10 more questions in the, let's say 5 or 6 more questions in the next 20 minutes, I should be getting a decent score. Okay, so that is something that you should try that, you should start well. Okay, so how to do that is, whatever, if you encounter any difficult question, try to leave it as soon as possible. Okay, say for example, let us say you get a question on coordinate geometry. Okay, or maybe some function you are unaware of. So no point breaking head into the question, just leave it and move ahead. Okay, if you do not know the concepts, don't start thinking that, okay, I will be doing this and that. Or maybe let us say an RC. An RC came from a topic which is you do not have interest in, you do not know about, say, philosophy. Okay, and there is no point solving that RC in the first attempt. So I would rather go to some other passage and solve it. Okay, so and if you see a question, okay, and you say that let us say quant. Okay, so quant in general, you need to have 2 minutes per question, in order to score the perfect score. So let us say you are attempting a question, and after say 30 to 45 seconds, of course you will take some time to read. So 15 seconds reading plus 45 seconds of understanding it. So after 1 minute, you think that you are not heading anywhere. Okay, agar you feel that ye to hil hi nahi raha types. Okay, if you feel that I am unable to do anything, I am not able to start the approach, how to start this question, leave that question. Okay, because that is just a waste of time. And this happens a lot, that people keep just wasting time, and later they lose a lot of time in that question. Okay. And it's perfectly fine if you leave 2, 3 or maybe 4 questions consecutively. Okay, so let's say you got a question on function, you are not well aware with functions, you have difficulty in solving questions, leave it. Next question comes on, say PNC, you are not comfortable with the topic, leave it. Next question comes on geometry, you feel that, okay, I don't know this theorem, leave it. So it's fine to leave multiple questions one after the other, okay, provided you pick also, alright. So not that you just leave the entire paper, you should pick some questions also, but you should not think that I have left one or two questions, I should not leave the third question. It should not be the way. Okay, so this way what happens is most aspirants, okay, most of the people, they don't even reach the questions. Okay, I would say that hardly 1 or 2% people read all the questions. Okay, so you should try that, you should at least reach maximum possible number of questions, so that you know what came in the examination. People don't even know what came in the examination. Okay, they just see a few questions. Let us say someone is doing quant. Okay, as per your capability, suppose you are able to do 20 questions. Okay, that is good enough to score a 99 percentile. So you start with the first question and then you reach, let us say, up to just 25. You just skipped 5 questions. Okay, you skipped 5 and attempted, let us say you attempted 22, and out of which 20 were correct. Okay, you could reach just 27 questions. But on the other hand, if you had left some of the questions in which you spent more time, you could have seen the other 7 questions also. So you knew that, okay, I could have solved some of those questions. Sometimes, not sometimes, many times it happens that there are certain questions that are easy towards the end of the section, which are easy, and people leave those questions, okay, and unattempt and unseen, in fact. So the initial 10-15 minutes, I would say, are enough to gauge the difficulty level of the section, and then you must accordingly plan your strategy. Because see, everything, it's a percentile based game. Everything depends on your this thing, how you score, right? So what happens is like if you start well and you see that in the 10-15 minutes, you will get an idea that I have seen 5-6 questions. I saw that 3 or 4 look difficult, only 1 or 2 were solvable. So you get an idea that overall it is going to be a tough game, so don't panic. Okay, like if you see that, okay, all 5-6 were doable, it seems that the paper is going to be easy, so you need to pace up. Okay, so like I wouldn't say that it is evenly distributed, but this time it gives you a hint that what is going to be the difficulty level of the paper. Okay, so take at least like 4-5 minutes to charge up. Like if it is a 40 minute session, I would say that 3 minutes at least to go through at least a few questions. Okay, just see around 5-6 questions in the beginning and see that how it is going. Okay, maybe it is difficult, maybe it is easy. Okay, one important thing that we must see is, do not target any attempts as per your desired percentile. This is a mistake which many people commit and end up landing on the wrong side. Okay, so what happens is like some people target that, okay, they see last year cutoff, they say that, okay, 155 to 160 score will give me 99 percentile. Okay, or they see the sectional score. Okay, they say that, okay, if I score 55 in quant, let us say, this is an example. Okay, so that will fetch me 99 percentile. Okay, then what happens is, there are 2 cases. If the paper turns out to be easy, then if you target 55, you won't get 99 percentile. Maybe the 99 percentile was at 70. Okay, it's a very high score. And on the other hand, this could be the reason that the paper turned out to be very difficult and you struggled to get even 40 marks, and then you got nervous. Okay, you lost confidence. Okay, so it will entirely depend on the difficulty level of the paper. So do not go by any prejudice that you have to score X marks to get a desired percentile. Just keep solving, okay, and keep a watch that you do not spend too much time on a particular question. You should be able to, get a good score. Okay. So Prapti, you must have started mock test by now. right? So you don't wait to complete the syllabus and start mocks. If you have completed like 60 to 70% of the syllabus, you should start taking mocks. Okay. All right. And the most important thing is be positive and focus, because at times it might happen that your first section did not do well. Okay, you could not do well in the first section. The verbal ability was a disaster. Okay, you thought that okay, you would be getting a very high score, but you end up doing it moderately. So don't lose confidence in the middle of the paper. Maybe the verbal ability section was difficult for all. Okay, you could do better in the other two sections and raise your overall score. So don't lose any confidence. Stay focused. I mean, fight till the end. Okay, it's not that like you give up after solving some questions you find difficult and you give up. No, fight till the end of the paper. Try to keep solving questions till the end. Okay, who knows? Maybe in the last 30 seconds you get one question correct, and that might change your fortune. Okay. So the pattern change will not impact your scores. Okay, so it's just that the number of questions will change. Okay, number of questions will reduce most probably. Okay, because I don't think that it will remain the same. It will reduce. If it remains the same, if it reduces, that is not going to impact you. Still that whoever scores the highest does the best. Okay, so it's not that they are introducing a new topic. So you should not worry about pattern change. Okay, whatever the pattern be, the pattern will be for all. Okay, be it a person who has taken CAT any number of times or a person who is taking CAT for the first time. So pattern will be the same for all. So don't worry about the pattern. Keep preparing the way you are. Okay, keep your concepts clear. Okay, and if whatever information is known, you will get to know. Okay, so till now don't worry about that. Okay, unless the pattern is announced, keep your preparation the same way as you have been doing. Okay. Now let us talk about section wise, how to attempt the sections. So RC, VARC section, if I talk about, it is majority RC. Okay, the most of the questions are from RC. So I would say that like you should start with your comfort zone. I mean, it applies to all the sections. You should always start with your comfort zone. Okay, are you an RC person or VA person? Maybe you are good at solving para jumbles, para completion. You have very good accuracy rate. Your practice has given you that you always get those questions right. So definitely start with VA questions. In RCs also you have different genres. You have different genres of RC, right? So you might get a passage based on philosophy. You might get a passage based on scientific research. You might get a passage based on arts and culture, or it could be business and economy. So depending on your comfort zone. Suppose you read a lot about businesses, economy, finance, etc. So do that passage, because see, some people would say that like if you if the passage is difficult, you can't solve questions and all those. That is not the case. Okay, if you are comfortable with some topic, so you would be able to understand that topic better, and hence you will take lesser time to attempt that set. Okay, the lesser time you take to attempt that set, it means that you have confidence because you have solved it in a lesser time. And if you are able to understand the passage well, definitely your answers would be correct in that passage. Okay. DILR, so DILR consists of like three things. One is DI. Okay, DI by I mean the charts. Okay, that Venn diagram, the set theory questions. Okay. In charts also you might have a calculation, or it could be like charts. One could be it could be charts, table, etc. It could be calculation based. It could be your observation based. Okay, observation based are the easiest ones. Okay, you don't need to be a master calculator at that. Okay, so observation based you must attempt, like which have the highest percentage growth and all those. By just looking at the graph you can answer those questions. Okay, if you look at the paper of 2019, there were several such sets, one set in each of the slots, wherein just one was that rainfall thing. Okay, so you just had to count how many have more than 900 mm rainfall and take that median. You don't have to do anything in that question. So see that if you are good at reading charts, so do search for such sets which are observation based. So there will be at least one set which will be observation based. One could be calculation intensive. Okay, see that if you can find such a set. Okay, and then you have a Venn diagram. If you are comfortable with set theory, go for it. Okay, then in LR you could have like matrix based set. Then you could have something called arrangement. Okay, then you could have something like games and tournaments. Then could be some other topic. Okay, which keep repeating year after, like every 2-3 years. Okay, and maybe could be some puzzles. Okay, so see that which part you are good at. Are you good at making matrices? Are you good at eliminating options and filling the matrix fast? Or are you good at arranging people around a circle or boxes or whatever thing in a horizontal manner? Or are you good at making scheduling problems and all? Right? Similarly, so, and there could be like mix of DILR. Mix of DILR, I mean the logical puzzles. Okay, there could be logical like number puzzles, etc. Okay, so are you good at that thing? Okay, so that depends entirely upon you. If you are good with observation is something that everyone should be good at. Okay, that you must search that is there any set in which can I answer just by looking at the values. If you are good at calculation, is there any set in DI where I need to calculate values? Maybe they ask for percentage growth and all those things. You are very comfortable with solving numerical problems. So do you have such sets? So look for those sets. Are you good with matrices? So your practice will give you an idea what are your strengths and weaknesses. So as you practice, as you take mocks, identify your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe you are good at solving arrangement based puzzles. Look for that. Is there a puzzle based on arrangement, be it circular arrangement or linear, or maybe you are good at let us say some other type of puzzle, let's say a matrix based puzzle. Okay, which generally is present in the paper. So search for those items. Okay, so previously DILR used to have 8 sets, maybe this time they might have 6 sets. Okay, so search for all the 6 sets. Just quickly browse through it and pick that. Okay, set number 1 is on say Venn diagram. I do not know the concept of Venn diagram. Okay, set number 2 is a logical puzzle. I feel that it might take time for me to solve that puzzle. Set number 3 is a matrix based puzzle. I am very comfortable with matrix puzzles. I'll solve it. Set number 4 is a calculation based DI. I am okay with it. I'll solve it later. Set 5 is an observation based. I will attempt it. Set 6 is games and tournaments. It might take time, so I will take this set. Okay. So this way you should pick the set. So I mean you should give some time. Just look at the type of puzzles that you have. Okay. So whatever be the number of sets, this time it's likely to get reduced to 5 or 6. So go through those sets and see that what are they asking. Now quant, again there are topics and there are within topics there are certain questions that you are comfortable with. Okay, so most people are comfortable with arithmetic. Okay, and some people also find geometry okayish. Okay, some people practice a lot of number system. Some people practice a lot of PNC. So they are well versed with it. However, the number of questions from these topics are less. And then the 5th topic is algebra. Okay. So don't think that you are weak at algebra, so you will leave all the questions of algebra. Maybe the questions from algebra were easy. Okay. So I mean follow strategy. Like say if you have 20 questions in 40 minutes. I mean just giving an idea. So you have 2 minutes per question. Okay, I mean for 200 all the questions. So spend 1 minute. Spend 1 minute. If you feel that you can do it halfway. Okay, if you think that like if you spend like after reading the question, obviously reading the question would take like 15 to 20 odd seconds, and then understanding the question and all. If at 1 minute you think of 3 things. Okay, first thing is, it will be done in another, let us say 30, 40 or maybe 60 seconds. So attempt this. Okay. If you see that it can be done but time taking. Okay. So what do you do in that cases? you mark that question and come back to it later. And the third category is you have no idea what is the question about. Okay, so try to figure out this no idea part as soon as possible. Okay, don't wait for a minute. Just give like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Try to figure out, can you solve this question? If you have no idea, don't think that I will be innovative, I'll innovate some method, I'll think of some idea and get to this question. No, if you cannot solve that question, if you have no idea, just leave it. As soon as you realize, okay, try to realize it as soon as possible. Don't wait that, let me wait for 1 minute, let me think. No, think for hardly like 30 seconds, and if you realize that, oh no, this is something which I do not know, okay, I'll have to derive some formulae or do something to solve this question, just skip that question. Because there are a lot of questions, and see, people do not reach all the questions. Okay, remember that many people do not reach all the questions, most of the people. Alright, and many people do not, I mean, they just spend time on questions, and then it's important to learn the skill of leaving questions. Okay, so if you are good at that, definitely you can do well in the examination. Okay. Alright, so these were some tips about how to select questions, how not to waste time on questions, how to leave the questions early in the examination, how to stay positive. Okay, so just try these strategies when you take your test, whenever you attempt mock tests, whenever you practice. Identify your strengths and weaknesses. If you know your strengths and weaknesses, right, so you know that which are the topics that you must target in the examination and which are the ones that you must leave. Okay, so thanks for attending this session. Have a great day. Take care. Goodbye.